What do you think of when you imagine being cursed? The random elements of life conspiring against you. A horrible disease that no one can treat. Everything you touch is dying. The curse I've been burdened with may sound like nothing more compared to those, but it actually destroyed my life as thoroughly. I had a normal life before this started. A decent job, recently married, in a nice house. It was a normal night, and I was looking around online when out of nowhere I heard a loud, deep, furious scream. I had never heard anything so loud in my life. Needless to say, it scared the hell out of me. I screamed and nearly fell out of my chair. My wife was in a nearby room and came running. My heart was pounding, and I asked her what that scream was. She said it was me, and she hadn't heard anything since. She insisted that she hadn't heard the scream I had. She said I must have hit by a screamer online. I insisted that even if our computer could make a noise that loud, she would have heard it from anywhere in the house. After some arguing, though, I dropped it. Maybe I had only imagined it so loud. The next day I was clearing the table after dinner. I was carrying a very sharp carving knife to sink in when it happened. That very unbearably loud, furious scream. I was almost knocked off of my feet. My hands violently twitched, and I gave myself a deep cut on my other hand with the knife. My wife was in the room. She was scared after seeing me nearly fell and cut myself. However, that wasn't what upset me. Once again, she hadn't heard anything. I was becoming terrified at this point, and I made a doctor's appointment. It was scheduled a week later, but I would end up in the hospital before that. 2 days later, I was driving home from work. After going a whole day without hearing the scream, I was starting to feel better. I wasn't even sure if I would need to see a doctor. I was a few blocks from home when it happened. I heard the scream again, and the consequences were much worse. As with the other times, I've lost control of my body for a brief moment. However, that's dangerous amount of time when you're driving. My spasm for the scream caused me to violently turn the steering wheel to the left, crashing me into a street light. I broke my hand and the car was trashed. I went to the hospital, but nothing physically wrong with my head was found. The screams started coming at random times, every day or two. Everyone thought it was a post-traumatic stress from the crash, but it wasn't. I heard them. I know I did. I was a nervous wreck after the accident. Not because of what happened to my hand or the car. It was because of that noise. I lived in constant fear of it, afraid if anything were losing my control could injure myself or others. That wasn't the worst part, though. The anticipation of the scream was unbearable. No matter how many times I heard it, it scared me to death. Nothing my wife or my psychologist said helped. Eventually, I started lashing out at people, angry that they wouldn't believe what I heard was real. After one particularly bad fight with my wife left, she was crying. She said that she still loved me and knew I wasn't being cruel on purpose, but she couldn't live with me anymore. I hadn't been able to work since the accident, and even with my extra sick time they'd given me, I would soon run out. The screams had ruined my life, and I was willing to do anything to make them stop. I picked up a knife, and the same knife I had cut myself with, and I heard the second scream and cut off both my ears. The doctors couldn't agree with my decision, so I didn't expect them to. All that mattered to me was I had done throughout that job to ensure that they couldn't restore my hearing. I was held against my will in the hospital, restrained and monitored at all times, but I didn't care. With the screaming gone, I was sure I could convince them that I was sane at the time. I felt better than I had before since the first scream, until night after night I removed my ears. It didn't stop. I heard it. I hadn't heard anything since what I had done to myself, but I heard the screaming every bit as loud as it had before. I completely lost control at that point, and I'll probably be put in a mental hospital, monitored and restrained to keep me from hurting myself for the rest of my life. I don't care about that. That's not the reason why I say the screams ruined my life. The anticipation, the knowledge that no matter what happens, they would keep coming for the rest of my life. I never know exactly when. Whatever I can do is wait. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video. And I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.